Why do you hate this podcast? Why do you want to dismantle it and stomp upon its ruined ashes?
I was testing you!
It's episode 4 of the Whales Are Whales podcast, wherein members, friends, and family of the Whales Are Whales network gather around once a week to talk about things.
You know what's awesome?
What's awesome, Bryan? Hi.
Hi. You know what's awesome is that it's episode 4 and there are 4 of us here. In episode 3, there were 3 of us here. And in episode 2, there were actually 4 of us here. So, yeah.
Isn't life full of coincidences?
Life is strange.
Life is strange. We'll get to that later, though, I suppose. My name is Stephen Kelly. I'm the host of this here podcast. You're my brother, Bryan. What's up, Bryan?
The sky!
I think you've replied to me with that maybe 400 times throughout our existence.
Well, obviously I need to keep doing it then.
Indeed.
I think I get some sort of achievement at 500.
Achievement? Okay, good.
Steven, ask me what's up.
What's up, Bryan?
The sky!
Oh, you got it! Alright, go check out how many achievement points that was for your Xbox 360. And I'm gonna... 3?
Good lord, now it's gonna be weird and uneven for like the rest of my career.
Have fun.
3, camera nutter. 3?
Yeah, that's what it said. 3.
Cool. Alright, that's good. But we also have one more person because that's how many is 4, and it's Zachary Walton.
Zach, what's your Skype avatar from?
I don't even remember what I put it. Oh wait, yeah, no, I put it from Doki Doki Precure. The fairy becomes a bad guy and begins to smoke cigars and wear sunglasses, and it's pretty awesome.
It looks like a grumpy fairy.
There could not have been a more Zachary answer than it's from Doki Doki Precure.
No, probably not. Unless, well, maybe if it was from... Is there like a Bloodborne-esque spin-off of the Precure anime series?
That would be super weird considering all that I know about this game now.
Is there a Precure mod for Bloodborne where you can play?
No.
Okay.
That would also be weird.
That would be weird.
I don't know if I would like that.
I don't know if I would like that either. Actually, I know very little about either of those things, so...
So, Bryan, do you even know what Precure is?
Yes.
Have you ever seen any of Precure?
I have seen the transformation animation.
Okay, you've seen the best part.
Wow, yeah, no, Steven here talking like he's a big expert in everything. He's only watching one episode in the middle of Smile Precure.
Bryan, do you even know what Precure is? I'm not trying to embarrass you on the internet. It's just
the one that Steven couldn't actually pronounce it throughout the entirety of the 22 minutes.
Am I doing it right now? Precure.
Right now.
What were you doing before? Procure?
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly. Procure. It's just like, it's a P-R-E. How do you get per from that?
The only thing that's...
Yikes.
Well, I didn't go Procure. I went Procure, like you were to...
Procure something.
Yeah, I suppose so. It's almost as hard to pronounce as Racketeer.
Oh, Racketeer is easy to pronounce.
It is. It's so easy, though. Precure. It's just pre and cure. It's like, you
know...
It is the point at which you are not cured yet. It is the pre to the curing.
Also, you know,
well, when did they get cured? I mean, did they ever get cured?
I would assume they would.
Are they medically sound? I don't know, man. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad we got that ironed out. Bryan, what are you trying to say?
I was saying, you know what's awesome?
What?
Racketeer.
Yeah, I sure love Racketeer. Did anyone play the pseudo sequel? I don't know if it's a sequel, but the next game in that developers
actually was
series
the game that came out before that. But
yeah,
but made by the same team, Chantilly's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I was talking about.
Yep.
Yes.
I have not played it.
Oh. I like it a lot. It's very different and it's very difficult. It's more of it's sort of a like East game in that regard. It's just a very hardcore, very Japanese, action.
Oh, you mean a Yus game?
Yes.
I will throw something at you through the internet, Bryan.
Even I knew that, Bryan. Oh my gosh.
How else could Zachary have made the easy pun back in the old Disembodied Voices days?
I don't even remember that. Gosh.
Hey, I write down all of Zachary's puns and sticky notes them to my wall.
Oh, nice. That's dedication.
I don't know if I should be I don't know if I should feel, like, honored or, like, incredibly scared for my life.
Creeped out's a good one, yeah.
That is the
It's kind
behavior
of
of a serial killer.
It's kind of like being an important figure and traveling to a war zone. You're honored to be there, but scared for your life. That's what it's like when I write down all of your puns. It's the same thing.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I think we have a Wales or Wales announcement to make.
What? I wasn't
We missed an
prepared for
episode
this.
of Train Station at 8.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, last week.
You want
we
to
did not.
tell people why? Did we already tell people why? Do people
You know what?
why?
The horrific thing is I actually forgot to tweet out about it on Saturday.
That is pretty horrific.
So it's just missing. Just no one knows what happens to it. Very unprofessional. Someone's going to get fired over this.
Yep.
Probably
I don't think
the
it's going to
chief
be me.
Oh, no.
None of this was my fault.
But yeah, we were supposed to have another Sega episode actually, with Jared Ettinger, whose show, this is a weird sentence, we appeared on his show, Pixel Pizza, that radio show. Remember that, Cameron?
Yes,
Remember
I do,
we were
actually.
live on the college radio?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we asked him if he wanted to be on our show, and he said, aye. He actually said something else, but it was to that effect.
Oh
I
my
don't know.
gosh.
Unfortunately, though, something went wrong in the Skype file transfer and didn't work.
Can
So
we
we only
fire
have me and
Skype?
Brian. We could try,
Yeah.
but we're kind of dependent on Skype.
Just start using Google Hangout.
I could try to use my my weight in Skype stocks that I have, which is basically $8.62 of free call time.
I really don't think that counts as a stock.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry to
Brian,
burst your
while
bubble.
I finish explaining this, could you go up the dogs inside?
Sure.
Yeah, they're stuck outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
So yeah, we were supposed to have an episode. It didn't work out. It felt really, really bad about it, but we're going to put it up this week instead. That's your weekly Wales or Wales important news. I don't know if anything else interesting has happened.
Probably not.
Probably not. I guess I'm back on third person though. That's good. I missed a week on that. Otherwise, that's kind of it for Wales or Wales. How have you guys been doing? What's been going on in your
Hey,
lives?
that's not it for Wales or Wales.
Wait, really? What else is there, Brian?
Yeah, we did just put up today, which is 3 days, whatever. On Sunday, we put up
Yeah.
a new third person episode.
Oh, I briefly mentioned that. I didn't know if there was anything special about it.
It's a great episode.
I mentioned that I was back.
There was nothing special at all about that episode, so why even bother putting it up?
Yes,
That
dude,
was-
you're not doing a good job of selling our wares here.
I thought we said we didn't want this section to be where we just say, this is up, this is up,
I
this is
agree
up
with
like a
Steven,
news
actually.
feed. Oh, good.
Well,
So
that's
Brian,
a
why
fair
do you
point.
want this podcast to become an RSS feed in audio form? Why do you hate this podcast? Why do you want to dismantle it?
Well,
and
mostly
stomp upon
because
its
I
ruined
hate
ashes?
you. But
Oh no.
yeah, I'm just
I'm your
being
blood
passive
relative.
aggressive and trying
Hey,
to
that's
ruin
my
everything
line.
you do. No, Cameron, your line is I hate you all. I distinctly changed it.
Oh, that's almost copyright infringement.
I'm being very
It's kind of
specific
like
here.
it's kind of like if you want to copyright your crayons and call them colors crayons, but you just spell it with a K and a Z for colors, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, fair point. Anyway, I bring up the third person episode because those only go up every other week, so it's not, just like complete
Oh, that's true. That's true.
assumption that it's going to be going up. And also, I think it's a particularly interesting episode. And also, a lot people still haven't we haven't gotten a lot of awareness out about that podcast yet. So
Do you know that I feel a little bit self-conscious about that episode?
why?
Because I listened to the last episode that I wasn't on
Yeah.
and thought it was really amazing and funny and insightful.
Yes.
And then I feel like I came back and started rambling.
Oh.
And I feel like at the beginning of that episode, I wasn't on my A game.
Okay.
And so I feel like if I was a listener, I'd be listening to that and saying, oh man, now Steven's back. The quality's dropping.
Oh dear. Well, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that you rambled very much. I would have to go back and listen to the episode, but it certainly didn't stick out to me. And I think you added a lot to the
I
conversation.
think it got a lot better after I stopped rambling, which was
Yes.
maybe the 20-minute mark.
Steven, the simple fix to all of this is just to stop talking in general.
Exactly.
I
So-
have thought long and hard about that, Cameron.
But he's doubled down and started 7 podcasts. So, unfortunately, we're not going to see that future for a very long time. Or fortunately, depending on how nice you are. Man, I'm trying to remember what you were rambling out at the beginning. It would have been like what you've been reading or
Life is
whatever.
Strange. I was
Oh,
rambling
okay.
about Life is Strange. I was rambling
Gotcha.
a little bit about something else too. I don't remember.
Okay.
something I was reading or something.
I thought it was a good episode.
Yeah, it was a
Potential
good
rambling
don't.
aside.
I'm not trying to sell it short. It was just
Here you go again, trying to make everyone...
But now that I've lowered the expectations, go listen to it because it's a really good episode.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, you were asking a question or something when I rudely
Well, I was
interrupted.
just asking what everyone else has been up to this past week.
I was asleep 20 minutes ago, so sleeping.
Yeah,
Good.
That's awesome. I was woken up quite abruptly today.
Oh, true.
By you, because apparently, one of our clients, you got locked out.
Yeah.
Or you locked yourself out. Because I forgot to tell you, we don't have a key.
Right. The long story short, and there are many elements, and I'm not going to divulge any information because this is our pet sitting client.
Yeah.
But we couldn't get into a client's house, and the dogs needed to eat and go outside.
Yep.
And I had the rare morning shift. I almost never do that.
Yep.
And so it was actually kind of a horrible morning.
Yep.
It was actually
More
kind
so
of a
for you than
horrible
me.
day up to 1 o'clock, to be honest.
I like
Yeah.
my day for the most part, but
I actually, this week I locked myself out of my car too, which means I locked myself out of my house because my house key's on my car.
oh geez, what did you do?
I was at work, and I went to my car, and I sat down, and it was really sunny, so I just wanted to sit and enjoy the sun for a little bit on my break.
Mm-hmm.
And then I grabbed my phone, and I slammed the door, and I hit the lock button, because I always, it's a habit, and I closed the door, and immediately I was like, oh, okay. My keys are right there on the chair. Yep, I could see them. I could see them sitting right there.
Mhm.
So I went inside and I said, one of my friends, hey, can I please borrow your car at lunch? And they're like, why? And I'm like, I locked myself out, and I need to drive to my apartment complex manager's place and get a key, and then drive to my apartment and get my spare car key, and then drive back and get my car unlocked. And he's like, yeah, okay, go ahead. So I took an extra long lunch, and I went and did all that horrible stuff, and then I bought food and then took it to my work and ate there because I didn't have time to eat it on the way. So yeah, I was kind of miserable. It's just like one of those things where it's like nothing is wrong, nothing is like bad, but it's so hideously annoying.
Yeah.
You have to do a bunch of process to get it fixed, even though nothing is broken or anything, and it's totally doable. It's just it's like this is a waste of my time entirely.
Indeed, especially when you add the fact that you have to pay for a locksmith to open the door.
Oh, luckily I didn't have to do that, but man,
yeah.
did you guys have to do that?
Yeah, it just hit on the business expense that.
And you know what I learned?
Yeah, go ahead.
You know what I learned? If you want to get into someone's house, just call a locksmith, and they'll just open the door for you.
Yeah, I was wondering a little bit.
I mean,
what we were gonna
maybe
do
I
about that,
called
too.
some really shady place.
Typically they say, okay, do you have proof of residency? Or-
Yeah, none of that.
Really?
So, oh well. I mean, I was kind of I had no option. I had to get in there. We were already really late. But it seemed reputable. But yeah.
He just walked up and was like, "You Steven? Yeah?
And that's what I
You
said.
get into this house? Yeah? Alright, click, it's open. Thank you, locksmith! That's how it went.
Essentially, yeah.
Really? Oh.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
a little
but
strange.
It is strange, but it was an official business, and I didn't really have a choice at that point. I couldn't say, well, you didn't check who I am, so I'd like a different locksmith.
I don't want
yeah.
you to open this door.
I was
Sure, not
testing
security.
you.
Yeah.
That's really
So-
weird. Yeah,
Yeah, it was kinda
I
weird.
thought that might actually have been a problem for us. I thought we would have had to do some shenanigans to convince
Well, I
them
mean,
that
you
we
could
were
have done something as simple as, like, pulled up your business records and seen that those particular people were on your business
Oh,
records. This is
exactly.
their address and blah, blah, blah.
I was prepared for numerous, I mean, I could have had the residents call them. It's like anything. I could have done anything, but,
Yeah.
I guess
Maybe
that's legal.
No, maybe he's so prepared he did all of his research beforehand and knew that you were kosher.
Then
You
that's
could just tell
even
yourself that.
worse.
Yeah. My hobby is building up locksmiths as my moral idols. So
Okay.
it's important for me to think that these people are paragons of virtue. So
Okay, it's intentional self-denial. Or,
Exactly.
Trying
Bryan,
to, yeah, okay.
I think that people who charge you like $90 for about 5 minutes of work are
I know, that's my
not
dream.
moral whatsoever.
That's
Yep.
my dream job.
I'm actually curious if you want to divulge that information. How much did it cost?
I don't want to
More
divulge
than
that
$90.
information.
Oh my gosh. The lockpick, when I locked myself out, my friend told me about a story that happened to them, and they only paid $40 for a locksmith here.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Well, the problem
Yeah.
is it's like Oblivion, and they just keep cracking their lockpicks, and those things aren't cheap to replace. So. They go through like 20.
I think, though, that Bryan, he could just go back to his car, search under, like some mats and find some more, though, because that's also how that game works.
Or that one guy,
Or
outside
maybe
of
there's
the
a convenient
city.
place like Barrel.
What he really needs to do is just practice some alteration magic and just go whoop, and open it.
Well,
So-
sorry, Bryan, but some of us don't have the time and or patience to invest in such a boring, lame skill.
Alteration magic is one of the coolest skills.
Not at all.
Yes, it is.
Worthless beyond opening locks.
You can you obviously not played in Morrowind because you can literally walk anywhere, including in the air. You can just fly.
And then you fall on the ground and die.
No!
Way to go, Magic
No!
Man.
You can
you're
enchant
dead now.
pants to permanently let you fly.
The magic gonna run out at some point, and where are you? In a crumpled mass on the ground, dead.
To be
That's
fair,
why you ought to
that-
save
You have to
before
invest in resurrection magic. Oh, wait, you're dead.
To be fair, one of the very first things you do in Morrowind is you walk out of the opening town, someone splats on the ground in front of you, and they had used alteration magic to leap off a wall.
That's
And
why
see-
that happens.
And look and see where it got him.
And
So
I
yes,
spent
alteration
almost...
magic is either A, worthless, or 2, dangerous.
The best thing is you can pick up the scroll and try it yourself, and it will kill you.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, I spent way too much time in Morrowind trying to perfect that guy's spell and somehow have it not kill me. I spent maybe like 200 hours in that game and never succeeded, so you have some points on your favor.
Yeah, why are you defending this horrible magic then if you can
Because-
never master it in 200 hours?
Because I am obsessed with unlocking its secrets. See what I did there?
No, it was horrible.
I did
Stop.
That was awesome.
I didn't.
Wow, Zach is feeling very confrontational today. I need to be
am,
careful about what I
because
say.
I want to go play a better video game, but instead I'm here talking to you knuckleheads. But
Jeez,
I
he's
can't
taking on the
help it
Cameron
because I love
role.
all of you.
Aww.
So I have a question about a weird thing. The guy falling from the sky in the middle of the beginning of Morrowind reminded me of a weird thing. Zach, what in the world was with the "please give us Silky" thing at the beginning of Dark Souls 2?
Oh yeah, no, the crows. Yeah, they want you to give them silky smooth stones.
I have some of those, but
Yeah,
I
just
didn't
walk
see
over
any
the
crows.
nest, go into your menu, click on the item, and then go to drop, and then you'll drop it in the nest, and then they'll say thank you, and then they'll give you something back in return.
oh, see, I was so confused because I was just up there and I just heard the creepy voice go, "You is Silky," and I was like,
No,
"What?"
no, it's just a
The
crow.
world?
It's the crow has been in Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and in Dark Souls 2. The crow is just there asking you to give it silky smooth stones. It's just a
Oh,
thing.
I have a couple of those. I think.
Your crow impression reminds me a whole lot of Brightwing, Cameron.
Well, it's a bird, isn't it?
It's, close enough. Brightwing's actually a dragon, but I'll let it go.
Crow, dragon, they're pretty much, both like giant terrible lizards.
Sure.
I mean,
Fair
if you
enough.
go back far enough, at some point they're the same creature.
Fair enough.
Because if you go back far enough, everything's kind of the same matter created from potentially nothing.
Billions and billions of years ago.
Whoa, we have Carl Sagan on the podcast.
That's not who I was imitating.
Wait, then who the heck were you imitating?
I was imitating Bryan because he's boring.
You mean Steven?
No, Bryan.
What's wrong? I am just the target of this podcast, and I can't figure out why. So what have I been up to other than getting up way too early?
Millions and trillions and billions. Sorry, I'm done.
I'm just gonna let you go.
I'm done.
All right, okay.
I think he's done.
All right. So I'm at the potential of setting off Zachary. I entered a Hearthstone tournament this weekend.
Oh, cool. How'd you do?
That's scary.
I am
waited for you
legitimately
to leave.
interested in the successes and perhaps, hopefully,
All right.
failures of my friends.
All right. So it was, let's see,
He
128
lost
players.
in the first round? Wow, that's a bummer.
Not quite. 128 players were playing, so I think it's 8 rounds by the time it's done. Each time, successfully eliminating half the players. Single elimination, best 3 out of 5. I won the first round. Got 3 wins, 2 losses. It was actually really close, but I ended up winning. The next round, my opponent was really, really good. Much higher ranked than me. Also, just played very well, great decks, no mistakes. And I did lose in the second round. However, he has gone on, he is going in the finals. So,
oh wow, so you were basically playing like the top seed at that point?
I was playing basically the best player in the tournament on the second round.
Oh, that sucks.
The benefit is he's a super nice guy and I've kept up with him and chatted a lot, so kind of made a friend in losing. So it was fun despite not making it too far, but I knew I wouldn't because as much as I talk about Hearthstone and enjoy it, once you get into the actual Hearthstone community, I spend about 10% as much time playing Hearthstone as these people. So, as a lot of these people. So, most people who are into Hearthstone actually dedicate way more time to it than I do. So I'm, even as one who's interested in Hearthstone, I'm still kind of casually interested. So, I wasn't too bummed that I ended up losing the tournament, but it was a fun first experience and I have the time for it. I'll keep trying. I
can't wait till we can start doing tournaments, or at least the ranked modes in Heroes. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I'm level 29 now, so I'm just one away from getting into ranked.
If you get ranked, can we play on your,
No, we would all need to be there, and remember, we're also all going to need to own 8 heroes.
Well, I already own, it's 10, actually.
Yeah, but it shouldn't take you too long. It might take Steven a while to be there.
I'm 25 right now, so.
Yeah. It shouldn't take you too long. It might take Steven a while, though.
Probably so. Especially, I'm just sitting here staring into space because you guys made me really nervous about that locksmith guy.
Wait, really?
Why?
Now I'm wondering what he's up to.
What do you mean, what he's up to?
Well, it's just the more I think about it, the more suspicious it seems.
Wait, what do you mean? Like, what is suspicious?
Why didn't he ask me if I lived there?
Okay, so A, it's done, it's over. So you can't change the past. B, if he really is a reputable company, it's no longer in your hands if something else happens after this. So C,
that's a good point.
Stop caring about it, I guess.
Well, here's the question. What did you tell him?
I'm locked out of my house.
Then what is he going to do with this information? It's not like he knows there aren't people there, and he can already break into the house. It's not like you gave him a key.
Right, he can break into any house.
No, I guess I just feel, now I'm just starting to feel dumb because I might have picked a cheap place and paid too much money, but that's okay.
Oh, paid too much money. Well, yeah, that could be a problem, but whatever. It's money under the bridge at this point. We can afford it. So
that's true. Money under the bridge is going to be my new saying and possibly the title of my biography.
So yeah, no worries. You got it done. You did a good job. So I think we're all good going forward.
Okay. I can stop staring at the wall then.
Cool. But yeah, I think it'll take Steven a while to get up to ranked mode, but since he just plays so much less than you and I are.
Well, you know what though, Cameron? Bryan has recently convinced me to stay up a little bit later for the sole purpose of playing more Heroes of the Storm.
I absolutely heard that, and I'm really excited because I feel like this game has the longevity that, like, StarCraft, for me and Bryan, it was a forced longevity. Like, we loved the game, but it took effort and, like, willingness every single night to play this game, and we were always like, okay, we'll play StarCraft, fine. My other competitive games that I played multiplayer-wise in my life that I had, played every day, which mostly consisted of Call of Duty games, don't judge me, it was just like, hey, let's sit down and play casually for a couple of minutes, shut up. So this game, I think, has that. It's just casual enough where we're like, unless we're in a really bad mood or super tired, it's not hard to play.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of fun. So if I get home at 7 p.m., 9 your time, and we start playing by 10 your time, and you're playing for 2 hours, or how late are you staying up now?
Oh, I'll probably go to bed like at 12:15 or something.
Yeah, we'd have about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And it's especially nice because, even if you're flagging a little bit, or you're a little bit tired, or you're not, you don't really feel like throwing everything into it, you have your whole team to help you.
Yeah.
And you have, 2 people, in our case, that are going to actively be, working together with you and thinking up plans. So you're not kind of adrift in a horrible online world where you're the worst player all the time.
Oh, yeah. Here's one interesting thing about Heroes of the Storm, though, is just like how, you were talking, Cameron, about you can typically play it unless you're really tired or in a super bad mood. And that's true in that it will typically energize you to start getting really into the game. But it is a game that if you or any of the people you're playing with aren't super into it, it just like immediately loses like 80% of its appeal.
That's true. That's true.
Like you all need to be super engaged and happy to be playing it and just wanting to talk to each other and strategize, or else playing it passively just immediately becomes very dull.
Or for example, if Spanish-speaking Diablo was talking with us on Skype instead of just in text, then
El Diablo.
Well, yeah, Spanish-speaking Diablo may be self-explanatory, but then we all would have been dragged down by him being annoyed at everything.
Right.
I think he was annoyed. He's speaking Spanish.
Exactly.
But yeah, if you have one person who's just, doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And wants everyone else to, or even if they don't want other people to know, you can just emotionally drag them down with your unwillingness to try.
And also just where we are right now in terms of like how like swingy the games can be and how many like big mistakes enemy teams make. It's like, it's really important not to get disheartened and say, we're dead. Cause we pulled back like ridiculous games that seem completely doomed. So it's fun if we really get engaged with it. So I'm sure we'll be playing more of that.
Yep.
I'm excited.
But Cameron, you mentioned to me that you were playing Dark Souls 2.
Oh gosh.
Right.
And Zachary, you've been playing Bloodborne.
Mm-hmm.
So how have you two come together to collaborate on this Souls-a-thon?
Well, I was
I'm not sure,
really... So no, here's what happened then, Zach. So Dark Souls, or the Souls games in general, trick me every single time. Every single time. I see gameplay of them and I'm like, this looks so awesome, I buy the game and I hate it. Every single
They trick
iteration.
me every time too. I buy them and say, "Oh man, this looks awesome," and then it's amazing.
Well,
man, those games. What tricksters they are.
I'm glad you can enjoy them. It's a trick to me when I don't. But no, I was watching people stream Bloodborne, because it looked really fun, and it looked really fun when I was watching them. And so, then I started watching Zach stream, and I said, hey Zachary, would you look at my Dark Souls 2 character and tell me why I'm sucking?
And it was a terrible character.
Shut up.
All right.
No.
Okay, I understand a little bit about the game. What exactly about his character was terrible?
He put all of his stats into strength and dex.
What's wrong with that?
Everything.
No,
the main problem
I want
is...
to break it down so I understand this.
Okay.
Why do you not want to do that?
Basically, so what the problem was, at least from what I saw, is that Cameron was level
26 or something.
Yeah, but he had a 5 in strength and a 25 in dex, and it looked like he had not touched a single other stat. So his vitality.
That's what he does in every game.
At 5. Which basically means that, his HP is still at the base stat. Which, I mean, if you're good and don't get hit ever, that's fine. But if you're starting out, you want to put more points into that vitality stat. As well as into your endurance stat, which increases the amount of stamina that you have. And basically, so at that, all damage Cameron is doing, though, is actually brought down by the fact that maybe he can swing his sword maybe 3 times before his stamina is gone.
Nice.
And see, that's what I like to do in most RPGs that I'm not familiar with. I almost always put a bunch into vitality or endurance or whatever it is for that game to keep me alive. And then I start adding onto skills on top of that because first and foremost, I don't want to die, assuming it's a game that's difficult. So I think that makes a lot of sense. It passes the sense check.
Yeah, so I just decided, I asked Zach, I just said, should I just start it over? And he goes, yes. You should. And I'm like, okay, I will. And then he provided me a very interesting guide about a character whose base model is dexterity, quickness, speed, getting out of harm's way. And so last night, after watching Zach play Bloodborne for 8 hours on and off?
I was I actually forgot to turn off my stream because I was doing the side optional stuff, and then I went to the main story stuff. And then I beat this, kind of, spoilery boss. And then I'm like, wait a second. The stream's still on, isn't it? Crap.
Well, luckily I don't have a PS4, and by the time I get a PS4 and buy Bloodborne, I will have been forgotten everything that I saw. So yeah, after I finished watching Zach, I watched it on and off all day long. I started up Dark Souls 2 with this guide in hand. And I had this kind of feeling of, what's the word? Renewed vigor for the game. I've gotten advice from a pro, quote unquote, and
you have a purpose. You have a goal.
Yeah, and so I played for 3.5 hours, and beat 4 or 5 bosses.
Yay!
And you did it all by throwing out his character guide and putting everything into alteration.
I actually would be completely, like, very happy if Cameron just came up with, like, his own, like,
His own build.
His own, like, ideal character and went with that.
The only thing I didn't follow in this particular guide is I didn't do quite as much in my vitality because I kept it right on the cusp of not needing the fat roll. And then I did more strength than this calls for.
The thing is that, like, strength you're going to want if you're actually wanting to do, I mean, like, the point of going with the Dex build is that you're generally going to want to be using, like, dual-wielding weapons, and, like, it's more about, like, hitting things twice with, like, both swords and doing about the same amount of, of damage as you would with one sword with a strength build.
Right, exactly. And I actually have not started using 2 weapons yet because I haven't found 2 weapons that I like good enough. But however, I did go in the back of, I did follow a trail in the back area of the main home base, whatever it's called. And I saw this human guy with a really cool green looking sword. And I talked to him and he was like, I'm waiting for that statue to be moved. And I'm like, great. So I left him and I came back a couple hours later when I was leveled up and I killed him. And stole a sword.
Why?
Because he's got a really cool sword and I wanted it.
But Benhart is a cool guy and he helps you out on bosses.
Does he?
Benhart actually has Benhart would have given you his sword anyway if you completed his quest.
Oh.
I like to think that this is
you just murdered him and took it.
Well,
that is the quick and easy path.
I really wanted the sword.
And that sword's not even good unless you're a strength build. Also, not even a strength build, a strength and faith build? Sorcery build. Because that's the Moonlight Greatsword and it scales off of sorcery.
It does?
Yes!
Oh.
That sword will be mostly useless to you unless you have high strength and a high stat.
Well, I do have high
sorcery.
strength. My strength is only about 2 points off from being able to use it, properly.
But you're also gonna have to have like a 15 in sorcery.
Wait, in sorcery, you mean intelligence or faith?
Intelligence, yeah, thank you. I'm just saying sorcery because that's the spell type that you use with intelligence.
Right. Crap. Well, that guy died for nothing then, I guess.
Well, obviously Cameron doesn't have very much intelligence.
This is certainly a conversation that would happen if Cameron lived in the medieval times.
I didn't kill anybody else good, though, I promise. The
I killed
shopkeeper's
people
my
in
favorite
Bloodborne
guy.
yesterday.
You what?
Yeah, like, main characters?
Yeah. There was a guy in a wheelchair, and I was like, hey.
Jeez, dude!
No, it was my friend had already been past that part. And I said, hey, can I kill him? And he was like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, then I'm gonna kill him. And I killed him, and I got a really cool rune from it. So
I don't feel bad at all then. You were trying to make me feel
suddenly
so
Cameron
guilty.
looks like the paragon of locksmithing justice
I got
or something.
a rune that makes it so that things drop more things now. So I think that I came out ahead.
Okay, anyways, in my 3.5 hours of playing it yesterday, I accomplished, like, 4 or 5 times more than I had accomplished with my old character in, like, half the amount of time. Let's see, I'm trying to remember, I leveled up to it past the point where I didn't bother with the lonely giant or whatever.
Last giant?
Yeah, the last giant. And then so I came back to him and I killed him in, like, 4 seconds. It was great.
Cameron, what if that giant was about to go meet 3 of his friends and stop the moon from crashing into a town?
He is the last giant. He has no friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
What happened
Fair
to...
point.
Okay. I stand corrected explicitly.
And then I went from him up to the second boss in that area, and he just thrashed me, so I left that.
The Pursuer?
Yeah, the guy who flies in on a bird.
Yeah, the Pursuer is kind of like early, like, new players. He gives them the most trouble because he's kind of relentless, and for some reason in Dark Souls 2, like, every character has, like, a bunch of, like, magnets inside of their clothing, and their swords can just kind of, like, hit you even if they're, like, not facing you.
Yeah.
So, and the Pursuer is especially guilty of that.
So I ignored him, and I went on to the, I'm sorry, I don't know the names of any of these places.
Oh, no, it's fine.
The castle
The
place
Undead
with all the
Burg.
big giant guys. And
Hades Tower of Flame.
Yep, I destroyed my way through all of them. I beat the first boss for them.
Yeah, the Dragon Rider?
Yes, and then I went down to the caves.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, okay, I went down there, finished
Old
all that
Man
up,
Dwarf.
found some really nice armor. And then when I got into the big open, like, it'll look like a mine almost.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I stopped in that path and I went home. And then what did I do next? Then I did some side stuff. I upgraded my levels, did a little bit of grinding. Oh, and by the way, I lost 5,000 souls because I died in the middle of a boss, and I said screw it, and I didn't even rage. I was so happy with myself. I was like,
see?
I have to just let it go. It's gone.
You're finally getting it. They don't matter at all.
I mean, it was annoying.
Once you actually get past that point of like everybody starts off being like, I'm gonna lose so many souls. Think of all the experience and money and things I can buy. It's like, they don't matter. You'll get more souls. You'll kill more things and get more souls. They don't matter.
The one time I did fight for my souls was when I was fighting that first boss on the castle area.
Right.
I had about 8,000, and that's getting to the point where I'm like, ooh, that's kind of useful. So I died in his boss area, and I was like, oh, shoot. And so what I did was I just ran past enemies each time and brute forced my way into that guy's boss area, grabbed my souls, and then fought him, and of course I would die again, and I would run through and brute force my way and fight him and die. Took me about 4 or 5 tries, and I finally killed him and got my souls back. I was really proud of myself.
Yeah, no, great. I'm very happy.
So I'm having fun with the Dark Souls game for the first time in my life, or a Souls game, I guess.
Yep.
That's amazing, Cameron. You did it before Bryan or I did it.
What?
You appreciated. You learned the game.
Hey, I have
we did.
appreciated Demon Souls.
No, you played it and you're like, I don't really like this and stop.
No, I disagree with that.
Oh, Demon's
Souls. Demon Souls.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
Old video game. Good point.
Old? It came out like...
It's old. It's old and
9.
decrepit. Actually, the funny thing is, I say it's old and decrepit, but Bloodborne looks far more old and decrepit than anything I've seen in
I want to hear
Dark
about
Souls
Bloodborne.
history.
Tell me about Bloodborne.
Okay, so I want to frame
Not from
this.
you.
I know, I'm not going to tell you that. Frame the question. Yeah, Cameron, I've secretly been playing it for 30 hours. Let me tell you about Bloodborne. You have a gun. All right,
What?
not really. Zach.
And a hat.
And I want to frame this in a certain way. I think it was a tweet or a Facebook post or something. You said Bloodborne is like the perfect game and your favorite game ever. I want to know what makes it that good. And this can, go into why you think all the Souls games were so good. Because I know part of what you like about them, but I'm not sure why they are like your number one thing in the game.
Really, it all more or less comes down to, like, I've always been, like, a huge fan of the Zelda franchise. And these games just sort of, like, scratch the itch of, like, what I would, like, want to see from Zelda, and I know that they would never do with Zelda.
Okay.
I thought Darksiders was kind of the same way.
Well, except that, like, Darksiders is, like, kind of easy.
Well, I mean, I don't mean a difficulty.
Like,
I just mean gameplay.
I mean, like, just the focus on, like, telling a, like, really compelling story, but never just, like, explicitly telling you it. Like, the game tells you
Showing,
the
not
stories
telling.
just through, reading all of the descriptions on, like, the weapons and the armor and just, like, seeing what's happening in the world, and it's just super cool, and, I mean, and just, also just the combat, just, like, I just like that constant feeling of, like, I mean, like, what if in Zelda, like, you're, like, say, Ocarina of Time, you're adult Link, you've already beaten 6 dungeons, you're on to your way to the 7th, and you're like, man, I'm on top of the world. And then you go back to Kokiri Forest and get killed by like a Deku plant. Like, that's what I like. I just like this idea that, like, no matter how powerful you are, if you aren't careful, everything can just still kill you.
It's also kind of like every enemy is Dark Link. It's strange and mysterious, and you have to figure out how to kill it.
Oh,
and
yeah, no, like,
it turns some people away, but lots of people view that as, like, the coolest part of the game.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty phenomenal that in these games, like, just, like, normal guys that are just, like, prowling the streets, I have to, like, sit there and, like, dodge them and watch and kind of, like, and kind of, like, try to get, what they do, how they do it, like, try to figure out, like, all of their frames, when to attack, when to dodge, and it's just,
There's no, like, basic enemy, I don't think. There's no, like, baseline, boring enemy.
Yeah, like, they all can, like, pretty much, like, murder you no matter, like, how far you are in the game, and, like, which, I mean, like, last night I was, like, I beat this, like, really hard boss, and I was like, I'm great now, I'm on top of the world. Competence breeds, incompetence in these games. And I went
Well
to
put.
the starting area, and I'm like, yeah, I can take care of these guys, and then a guy still unlocked me and killed me. And again, I'm like, well, that's my fault because I just got really confident and I was not careful.
That's cool. Yeah, hey, you know what? You know why I am interested in Bloodborne so much, and I don't own a PlayStation 4, so it's not going to happen, I guess. Oh well.
Man, you just deflated your own enthusiasm.
Why
there,
I'm
like,
interested in Bloodborne is, I think because, first of all, they named it something different, and so it tricks me into thinking it's a good, fresh start.
It is actually. There is a lot different.
But I hear people constantly saying that their experience from the old games really adds a certain amount of value to this one.
It's value in the sense that you see that the game has progressed and like they kind of came up with a lot of like new ideas as to how to like freshen things up. I mean, like really, I was sort of skeptical just because like, when they first announced it, like, no shields, focus on dodging, and I'm like, man, I'm terrible at dodging in Dark Souls. I just block everything. And then I play this and it's like they made dodging like the most fun thing ever.
Well, yeah, they based the gameplay around dodging mechanics instead of shielding mechanics, and it works really, really well. What people are saying, anyways.
It is like it sort of almost feels like it feels more like an action game now instead of an RPG.
Oh, that's kind of what I've been hearing, and that sounds pretty fun to me. I also like the theme that they went with. That sort of
Victorian almost.
Kind of everything's breaking down Victorian. It's creepy and.
Oh man, I sort of just want to spoil a lot of stuff.
Don't spoil a lot of stuff, Zachary. What if I someday buy a PlayStation 4?
This game goes into completely like unexpected directions.
Time travel?
It is amazing. No, not at all. But it is amazing.
Is it the future actually?
No, nothing like that. But it is. They do.
It ends with you finding the
I'm
Statue
actually
of
really
Liberty.
curious. Does anyone actually care if they're spoiled about this?
I kind of do.
Okay.
And maybe our listeners do too.
The only thing
I'll
say is that the game director, like Miyazaki, he apparently got a lot. Apparently, he was influenced by a lot of early 20th century early 20th century like literature, specifically like horror literature.
Ooh, interesting.
You mean like kind of like crap? What's that stupid book called?
I have no idea. There were many books. Okay. Hey,
Yeah, there were a lot of books written in the 20th
guys,
century,
the one specific
unfortunately.
one, the one that was written in 20th century. Come on,
oh, that one.
The Bible.
the Bible.
Hey, speaking of books, are we pretty much done with Bloodborne? Sounds awesome.
Well, I mean, let me think here.
I want to know more about Bloodborne.
The only thing I can say is that I feel that with the focus on like the dodging and the more like action-y game like stuff now actually like makes it easier on me at least because like in Dark Souls 1 and 2 like I always been help for boss fights and I always had help and because like bosses were these like overbearing giant monsters and it's just like oh man but like I've always been help on one boss fight so far in this game, and like every other one I've beaten just by myself within like first or second try.
Yeah.
Which is funny because this morning I was trying to fight just like a normal guy who was just there as part of like a quest line in the game. He's just a normal guy, not a boss or anything. I must have died on him like 20 times, and I was getting really frustrated.
That's pretty cool.
It's interesting that the game can do that. Like what other game in the world would be? Oh look, the guy from one of the first levels kills you, but the boss isn't so hard. Like what other game can ever claim that happens?
Well,
I hate boss difficulty spikes.
Not to say that like the bosses aren't hard.
Right, no.
It's just that they made it so that you can like exploit them in a lot more like interesting ways. Especially the gun changes pretty much everything about this game. Because you can like gun parry things now.
But don't your enemies have guns too?
Is gun parrying as fun as shooting someone with a shotgun in Halo when they're trying to hit you with a sword? Because that's like the most rewarding feeling.
What is that called?
in any game.
Bull
True.
Yeah.
So, like, imagine this, Bryan, okay?
All right, I'm imagining.
Now, imagine if somebody in Halo came at you with the Covenant sword, and you shot them with... And, like, you shot them with the shotgun.
Okay, I'm imagining.
And then instead of dying, they just kind of, like, they just stopped and kind of, like, crumpled on the floor. Mm-hmm. And then you run up and jam your hand into them, and then just sort of, like, yank their heart out.
Okay.
That is essentially what...
For the first time, Halo would actually deserve its M rating.
In Bloodborne.
Gotcha. That sounds a little brutal. But
my favorite gun parry that I ever saw was in Devil May Cry 4, where when you start trying to shoot Dante, he just shoots you back, and so their bullets ping off of each other over and over again.
That's pretty cool.
I tried doing that against the guy that I was fighting this morning, and he just shot me and killed me.
Oh man.
Well, this is more realistic than Devil May Cry.
All right,
I'll
so
keep
if
that
I
in
do
mind.
play Bloodborne, I'm going to try to make my character look as much like Dante as possible.
So here's the big question, Zach. Can I borrow your PS4 so I can play it?
Not at all.
That is a good
I'm having enough trouble trying to keep one of my roommates who does not have one off of it. Like,
Well, Cameron, if you want to break into his house and steal it, I can hook you up.
Can that guy travel to Kentucky is the question.
Well, I specifically
price is
searched
right.
for him through my zip code, so you might have some problems with that.
Yeah, I did just get a tax return. No.
I need to do my taxes a lot.
Yeah,
I
dude, you're
really should do
running out of
that.
time, big time.
I know I'm running out of time.
Wow, yeah, you're right.
Wow. Well,
Oh,
hold on
wait,
a sec.
no.
Steven is procrastinating with something like that?
Well,
Shame,
wait.
shame,
You don't-
shame.
I'm the guy who paid an exorbitant fee for a shadowy man with a
I
lockpick
see
to open
you
the
as
door
the
today.
scheduled, be at the podcast 5 minutes early
Hmm.
for preparations. I'll do my taxes on the last day. That doesn't make sense to me.
You only see me like that because in comparison to you, that is how I appear.
What do you say
actually-
about me? I did my taxes already.
I can confirm that Steven procrastinates on a lot of stuff. I mean, it kind of runs in the family. I do too, but he's not always... I'm kind of known to be more of the prompt one around here in a lot of ways.
It just depends on the area, I think.
Yeah.
And taxes are not my area.
Right.
It's money and it's,
Are you doing them yourself, or are you gonna have someone do them for you?
No, I'm gonna do it myself. I really don't. It's not complicated. I just use TurboTax.
Yeah,
and
we use same thing.
TurboTax and do it turbo fast. That reminds us, everyone, we need to take a break for our sponsor this week.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yep. And it's
Who's
not
the sponsor?
TurboTax, though.
Oh. That would have been so dang thematic. Can we make it TurboTax?
No, the sponsor this week is water. I've been learning a lot about water recently.
Oh,
and
wow.
apparently we might have a water shortage in the future. So,
Wait, where?
Ryan, I'd like you to read the prepared statement from water.
Oh, right. This totally prepared statement I have right here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do you think when you think the word water? Steven, it's a dialogue.
I usually try to think of puns, such as, what are you doing in the lake?
Can you think of any other puns?
No.
Exactly. Water is more important than puns because you die without it.
Oh, no.
All right. That's our ad.
Okay, good. Well, everyone, I hope you drink water and support our sponsor on this episode of
You almost said Disembodied Voices.
Yes.
Yes.
On this episode of the Whales Are Whales podcast.
Yes.
Okay, guys, now I'm going to entertain you with the story I did today.
All right.
I went to Barnes and Noble today.
Who buys books anymore?
I don't know. That was the joke that I said to the clerk, and she kind of stared at me funny.
Really?
No, I'm not mean. It was actually really nostalgic. I used to go to Barnes and Noble a lot back in the days when I thought you needed to buy real books.
Foolish little you.
It's changed a lot. There's the whole store has books in it still. But what they primarily try to attract you with is Doctor Who. Yes, I saw A Fault in Our Stars bookmarks and Doctor Who paraphernalia, and that was most of the store.
So,
Is it just me, or is paraphernalia way too complicated of a word for what it's trying to get across?
But it's so fun to say.
I guess. Anyway,
It's
Cameron, what were
complex.
you saying?
Oh,
yeah, go
in
ahead.
Fairbanks, so it's negative 40 degrees 90% of the time in Fairbanks.
Okay.
Right.
And people have very poor internet because it's the middle of nowhere, Alaska. And so the hotspot, kind of for regular folks who don't do, bars or, anything like that, club hopping, is Barnes & Noble. Because what they've done at the Barnes & Noble in Fairbanks is they made this giant fire pit in the building, like a huge fireplace in the building. And then they have like a giant circle of chairs and couches and beanbags and rugs that circle the fire pit. And they have free Wi-Fi, and you're allowed to read books, and they have Kindles not Kindles, Nooks you can rent. And so it is like the place to go if you want to just chill, and they have a Starbucks in the building. And so you go, you bring your iPad, you connect to the internet, you grab a book off the shelf, you buy a cup of coffee, and you sit in front of the fireplace and read and have fun on your iPad.
That's really cool. And I was thinking about that as I was walking around. I realized, like, one of the best things about a big, or not even a big, just a bookstore in general, I suppose, is that you automatically have something in common with the person standing next to you.
It's a good
right? Because
atmosphere.
if you're in the sci-fi section and someone is standing next to you, you know that person probably likes sci-fi books, or is at least looking for a sci-fi book for someone else. I was standing in the business section, and someone just kind of turned to me and said, "Hey, where'd you get that shirt? It has a cool design." And then we started talking about business, because he was looking for business books as well. And I was like,
what shirt were you wearing?
I was wearing this, I don't really know, it's like that has kind of that Asian design with the zippers and the...
I thought it was a business design.
It was a business shirt. And I heart business on it. And it started up a conversation. How did he know I loved business?
Yeah.
Only by being in Barnes & Noble did he know that.
Right. But I get your point. That is
yeah.
interesting. I hadn't considered that before.
Yeah, I wish ours had a fire pit. I guess it might be kind of dumb in Houston.
Yeah, maybe a
it's
little
not really
dumb.
A thing. That's the reason there's a fire pit, is because it's in Fairbanks, Alaska.
We need an
And I
indoor
also-
pool.
Let's read a book while we take a dive.
I love reading books at the pool. They mix so well. I was gonna say a thing. What was it? Oh yeah, I started to realize the value of a Barnes & Noble, though. Even though, because at first I'm like walking around saying, okay, like, realistically, that book looks kind of interesting. I guess I'll look it up on my phone and realize I can buy it somewhere cheaper and leave the store. Like, that's not helpful. But I did realize that if you have time to just sit down and browse and pull things out and start books and stop books, and it's like a good way to just test everything out and just have a nice relaxing afternoon. And I had forgotten that. I used to know that, but I forgot it.
I mean, even nowadays you can just read the book, like the first 25 pages of a book on Amazon.com. But it's not about, like, reading the first 25 pages of the book. It's about the experience in general, I think.
Right, I think it really is. And man, does Barnes & Noble have a nice atmosphere.
That's why they survived and Borders didn't. Have you ever been to a Borders? It sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a warehouse of books.
They feel just stuffy and blank.
Barnes & Noble, like, feels like this slightly manufactured, like, place of learning and relaxation and conversation. Yeah. And it was fun. And so I bought two things while I was there with a gift card I had. I bought Long Walk to Freedom, which is the autobiography of Nelson Mandela. Or is it Mandela? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Mandela. Thank you, Zachary. He was the,
It's Procure.
I'm sure he was a Procure fan. He was the, president of South Africa.
Yes.
And the reason I bought this book is because, I think everyone heard a lot more about him when he died last year. Was it a year before last year? Was it last year?
I don't know.
That's why I wanted to read it. Because I knew he was a pretty extraordinary person, but I really don't know anything about him. And so I could just read Wikipedia and whatnot, but I had a gift card, so I got this giant biography that is just way bigger than I'll ever finish.
Okay, so is it biography or autobiography?
Autobiography. Excuse me.
Oh, that's fine. Just making sure.
And it has, man, guys, you won't believe how many pages it has. 638.
That's
so
quite a few.
It's gonna
At
take a while.
18-point font.
Yep, that's right, Cameron. It's a word a page, so this will be fun. So I bought the autobiography of Nelson Mandela.
Yep.
And then I also bought, as an accompaniment, a Batman and Super Angry Kitty Attack Lego set.
Oh yeah, those two go well together.
Yep. So I have my afternoon sorted.
Evening.
Is it weird that the Barnes and Noble here in town is like, it's very much like that. The whole books and just books everywhere and the nice atmosphere and everything. But I always prefer to go over to Half Price Books instead.
Yes.
I go there and all I do is just browse their selection of video games.
Oh,
Half Price
I was
Books.
wondering where that story was going.
I feel like I am like betraying some sort of like bookstore oath or something.
Well, imagine me. I'm striding around and kind of hanging around the business section, kind of trying to look, somewhat professional, looking at my books, but I'm drifting towards the children's section, trying not to look like I'm drifting towards the children's section, because I want to browse the Legos without looking like I'm browsing the children's section. Because I feel like that would be frowned upon. So I'm like pretending to look at books about CDs and computer technical help, and like, is that what I have Batman? Nope, that's the Batman I want. Oh yes, look at this technical manual over here. So I just kind of swiped this thing and then ran away and bought an autobiography of Nelson Mandela.
Wait, the only reason you bought that was so you didn't just go to the register with a Lego set.
Exactly.
Wait, is that actually true?
No, it's
okay.
Partially true.
That would be really funny.
Yeah, that would be really funny. It was pretty awesome walking up to the cash register with these two items, though.
Yeah, well, I had a friend growing up who would consistently get Barnes & Noble's gift certificates from his family for birthdays and stuff because they were evil or something. They would never give him any other type of money. So he would constantly try to figure out what sort of video games or whatnot they had for sale there because he was trying to buy stuff other than books with it. Or he would like say, okay, I'll give you a $50 Barnes & Noble gift certificate for like $30.
Oh,
So he would like try to sell them to me. So yeah, that was interesting, an experience. Yeah, like kids, they're just interested in what is not a book at Barnes & Noble for the most part.
And Barnes & Noble is actively pursuing the teenage market.
Really?
I mean, stands everywhere. What teens are reading? Romance, Doctor Who,
right?
50 Shades of Grey
YA lit
display.
is huge, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Totally. I mean,
With all the
John
movies.
Green, of course, had a huge display there. It's like, and then you can find all of the deeper stuff on the shelves, but all of the displays, they're either like Alice in Wonderland classics or teen stuff.
Kind of interesting.
Right, like Twilight and the Hunger Games kind of like reignited the YA literature market.
Yeah, exactly. And for all people like to, criticize those, I mean, at least, book reading is still
at
a
least it's getting
celebrated
kids
medium.
to read. Like, they could either be on their iPad playing Flappy Bird, or they could be reading Hunger Games, or even
Or what about Hunger
Twilight.
Games branded Flappy Bird?
Oh my god, they're
You
probably
just play
something
as a
that
little
exists.
bird pin.
And I mean, hey, like, The Fault in the Stars is one of the best books I've read in a long time. It doesn't mean it's not good. Because
what's
it's written
really
for
weird
teens.
about-
No, I mean,
Oh, yeah, go
YA lit can be good. It's just that, a lot of it is also just kind of dumb.
Yeah.
This is very true. A lot of
It
it
is
is
very
kind
But
of dumb.
I can't say anything because I subscribe to the Animorphs mailing
Oh, no.
club when I was a kid. And,
The what?
I had
Those are so
like
dumb.
38 volumes of that book series.
Those were so
and
dumb.
I absolutely loved the Animorphs. They were the best.
I read Goosebumps.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then I actually went back and I actually tried to read one of them that I found in my closet a few years ago, and I'm like, this is trash.
This looks horrible.
Yeah.
What?
Just
Have you not seen Animorphs?
No, these
Those
covers.
books have the best covers of just
These
the human
covers.
morphing into an animal.
Ah!
I know.
was so
I saw
awesome.
on Twitter recently someone put together a collage of all of the characters halfway through their transformation.
Yeah, it was so cool, and like I loved it, and I
What?
actually loved watching the TV show that they had on I think it was like Nickelodeon, and I was totally into it with the Zerg and the Hork-Bajir, and it was so cool.
What's great about that is they just run out of animals, so in that one he just turns into an alien.
Well, no, that is different. He turns into a Zerg. The
A
slug,
Zerg?
the Zerg in this series.
No, I mean
Slug
the
aliens.
picture I linked. The picture I linked.
Oh, he actually might be turning into a Hork-Bajir.
It's called The Alien.
That
The book
is a No, that is a reverse transformation. He actually is a Hork-Bajir who comes to Earth and he becomes a normal human boy. He actually is transforming into a human, which is
that
an
now.
animal.
You're right. So he's still an Animorph. Oh, that's actually kind of clever.
Yeah.
Also, what the heck are they thinking naming it a Hork-Bajir?
Hork-Bajir is the coolest name ever. H-O-R-K hyphen B-J-I-R. Hork-Bajir.
You have to read it to know that. Wait a minute. Okay, never mind. These are parody covers at this point.
No, at this point, there are a lot of parody covers.
I was about to say these are getting too far.
Tobias was stuck as a hawk forever because they say you can't say transform for more than 1 hour, and he did, and he got stuck as a hawk.
Wow.
But he was a cool hawk. And then his mom.
So wait a minute. Is that Crow in Dark Souls that's asking you for stones or whatever an Animorph? Because that would make a lot more sense.
Silky, Bryan. Silky. He's asking for silky.
Silky stones.
They actually can't talk when they transform into, but they can talk through their minds.
Gotcha. Because I was about to do my second theory, which is that Brightwing is an Animorph, which would also explain a lot.
I had a dream when I was
Wait a minute! I just saw the cover with Tobias because he's a hawk turning into a rabbit. So he's
yeah. He actually gets the ability later on to actually still transform after he's stuck as a hawk.
I am 100% positive you know this, but Zachary, did you know that Infogrames made an Animorphs PlayStation game?
I didn't actually. Oh my god! I gotta play this.
Yes, there is Animorphs Shattered Reality by Scholastic.
If you ever want to just get me a gift, get me that, please.
Should have saved it for the Christmas gift exchange.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Little did anybody know that I grew up obsessed with these books.
It doesn't
and yet
surprise me,
I realize that they're absolutely terrible now, and yet I remember everything about them.
That's pretty awesome. How many were there?
Oh god, there was like 50, 60 of them. They were sort of like the Goosebumps books.
I was about to say that. These looked like Goosebumps.
I read all of the Goosebumps
Did you ever watch the Goosebumps TV show,
It was
Cameron?
not
that
very
show was
good.
so good.
What?
The Goosebumps show is amazing. It's so good.
What Zachary is trying to say is, it's to the point where it's so bad, it's good.
No, it is just, it is
not.
legitimately entertaining television.
No, it's not.
I think you two are saying the same thing with different words.
I didn't like
Never
Goosebumps.
ever say something is so bad it's good. Just say it's good.
not good.
See, that is the ultimate disconnect with you, Cameron, sometimes me as well, and Zachary, is like, Zach doesn't have this distinction of, man, it's so dumb, it's good again. He's just like, it's good. Why do I have to do why do I have to?
I love
Why
that
do I
mentality.
have to defend why I like trashy
You
literature?
don't have to defend it.
Exactly.
I mean, I just don't like it.
It's just.
Actually, speaking of which, I should be invited to First Person and defend Animorphs.
I
love this idea!
Zachary, next episode we already planned. It is all about holding unpopular opinions about fiction. That is literally what we're planning to do for our next episode.
Idea.
So
I don't even remember how they were written to actually tell if they were effective storytelling. All I know is that I cried whenever Tobias's mother got infected by the Zerg, and she was down in the underwater complex, and then they had to go blow up the complex and kill his mom, and he's like, I'm a hawk, so I can't really cry, but my mom's dead. Also, I'm still a hawk.
Now calm down, son, and tell me, what happened to your mother?
She got infected by the Zerg, and she was down in the underwater complex, and then
I know it's difficult, but you're an Animorph now. We don't have a choice. We have to blow up the underwater complex.
I'm a hawk, so I can't really cry, but my mom's dead. Also, I'm still a hawk.
I can't. I'm struggling to hold it together here. I mean, I'm acting professional, but
yep.
He is a hawk.
Animorphs,
We've all
man.
been there.
I think we should end the podcast.
Okay.
Remember
We'll end the
Tobias
podcast.
2015.
1994.
Well, you know what, Zachary?
Wait.
Hashtag that. Spread it. Share it with your friends. We're gonna make this a thing.
I'm tweeting this now. What is it? Hashtag remember Tobias 2015.
You should do a
Yes.
hashtag remember Tobias. Like, write out the word
Yeah.
hashtag.
So it's hashtag remember Tobias. Will that work?
Why
Well,
wouldn't it?
you have to do hashtag and then spell hashtag.
Yeah.
Remember Tobias.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Hashtag
Just because sometimes people
remember Tobias
forget to put the
2015.
hashtag in, and then no one
Hashtag
reads their tweet.
Animorphs.
And we need to make sure everyone's on the same page. Okay, I still have $14 in Barnes & Noble gift card money. I'm going to go in there and say I need all the Animorph books I can buy with $14.
And you can buy probably 2.
And then I'll go to garage sales and get the rest.
I don't even know if they actually like still print them. I mean, they might.
I doubt it.
But yeah, I mean, like it was a long time ago. But yeah, like no, like okay, like you know, like so Cameron, like remember when they used to like you know give us the like Scholastic like little like catalogs in school?
Yeah.
I totally bought like the first like 5 books in this like big box set, and then I subscribed for $15 a month. They would like send me the new book every month, and I was in that program for like 3 years.
Oh, wow. So you cost
Wow.
your parents probably like $1,000.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
feel so bad about the locksmith thing now. All right, folks, let's wrap this podcast
Wait!
up. What?
I had a question.
Yeah?
And you're being very rude, not asking me that. I want to do something before you wrap it up.
Well, every time I do that, there's just this awkward silence, so...
No, not awkward.
Okay,
Ask me,
then-
Steven. Ask me what I want to talk about.
is there anything we're missing, Brian, before we close out?
Yes, there is. All right, so there's been a Twitter dispute, and it's not what I just tweeted right now. There's been a Twitter dispute.
It's already catching on.
Yes. That'd be hilarious. Are you on Team Tobias, or are you... Anyway, no.
Are you on Team Tobias' mother is dead? I mean, what's the...
I'm not sure what the other team is, honestly. All right. So, what I want to ask is, we had a Twitter dispute earlier about whether Bugs Bunny is a villain or a hero.
Well, that's putting it abrasively. My point is Bugs Bunny is not a role model. He is a flawed being. And
So he's an anti-hero.
and has serious problems. Yes, he's kind of
Right.
an anti-hero.
What do you all think? Is Bugs Bunny a menace?
Who cares?
I need to know your opinion,
would
Cameron.
say that Buzz Bunny, yes, Buzz Bunny, the military cousin. Well, he is a wizard, or perhaps maybe even a like warlock, because I tend to make the distinction of if you use your magic for antagonistic. Like
That's
reasons.
true. He can
And the
snap his
fact
thumb and a
that-
flame
the fact that
appears.
He can just like suddenly like change his shape and form and.
Yep.
Well, the thing is that...
Wait, you're making a convincing argument that Bugs Bunny is actually a demon.
Well, the thing is that he only antagonizes a balding white guy hunter.
This is
Or
not
Daffy
true.
Duck.
He also
So-
antagonizes a cowboy
And a duck. And a duck.
and a duck.
Yeah, that poor duck.
Well, I mean, Daffy Duck's
Yeah.
kind of a
Well,
jerk, too.
okay, Daffy
Did you
is
know-
also kind of like some kind of like eldritch horror, so...
But in the beginning, Daffy Duck was an innocent, normal, mute duck who listened to
So
classical
are you
music.
saying that Bugs Bunny is the eldritch horror, and then he had somehow like corrupted Daffy and turned him into one as well?
I'm
I
saying
think Bugs Bunny is the equivalent to when people say like Batman created all his supervillains by being Batman. I think Bugs Bunny created the rest of these
or
horrors by
perhaps
being Bugs Bunny.
this is an Animorph situation.
Oh, gosh.
And Daffy Duck was originally a duck, but then Bugs Bunny is one of those creatures. What, a pork brazier or
Blagojevich?
whatever you said, Zach?
Pork Bajir.
And oh yeah, sure. And then everything went bad from there.
That's an interesting theory, and that's
I think
possible.
That it was
so,
a cartoon made for kids, and all of the people in the show are just sort of...
Actually, Cameron,
It was a cartoon made for people,
the cartoons were actually made to air before films back in the 30s, in which films were primarily watched by who? The adults. So actually,
I wasn't trying to
cartoons
make
were
a
made
distinction for kids.
adults, because if you knew your animation history, which you obviously do not.
I wasn't trying to make a distinction that it was only for kids. My point I didn't get to was that they're all who they are
For frivolous entertainment.
for
is what you're trying to
entertainment.
say.
Yes, that it's Bugs Bunny is evil to Daffy Duck because it's really funny when he gets his beak
I don't like
blown
this
off.
argument, Cameron. This is like saying it's just a game. We don't have to discuss what it means. Looney Tunes
What happens
means
in the
something
game
to us.
happens in real life, okay?
Cameron, I need you to actually make an opinion here because I
That was
need
my
consensus.
opinion.
What? No. So is Bugs Bunny a role model?
No, because he's
Okay,
no.
cool.
But he's not also an evil thing either. He's just
Not
funny.
You got to do one or the other.
No, I
Cameron.
do not. He's just funny.
I
Cameron,
know.
the world is black and white.
Apparently.
Exactly.
Okay, Cameron, you just calm down. We don't want
Is
you
the
to
fish
have
from
a heart
Wind
attack
Waker
on
a role
air.
model?
Brian,
Because when
go
he eats the
run.
fish-
Yes, of course he is.
He's
Why is this the
fish
question?
food is actually a living creature, and because he's eating the fish food,
Wait, what? You're lying.
you're lying.
Okay, this has gone too far, Brian. I knew I shouldn't have given you this extra time to bring up a subject this controversial. We're just here to,
This stupid.
hang out and chat. We're not here.
Hashtag Bugs Bunny 2015.
I'm
never
doing
mind.
That's what I'm
Oh,
tweeting.
I already made my case on Twitter. I already yelled at some people. I'm past this already. I'm gonna go hang out in Barnes & Noble where my colleagues respect me. Anyway, I'm also going to end this podcast because I think that's the tasteful thing to do. So everyone...
Shut up, Brian. So I tweeted, hashtag Bugs Bunny is a menace. Cameron tweeted, hashtag Bugs Bunny is just for entertainment. Shut up, Brian. Which I am going to retweet.
Discourse.
You've retweeted and favorited mine. Good lord.
Well, I
All
favorited
right.
Cameron's too, but I didn't
We should
retweet
end
it.
this because
Yeah.
we're going to be at each other's throats here pretty soon.
True
I
enough.
might just run up and throttle you, Steven, because I can't get to Cameron.
Uh-oh, through proxy? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. We had fun, maybe entertaining you today. I don't know. That's for you to decide. This has, of course, been the Whales Are Whales podcast with a hyphen in there. And you can visit all of our shows at whalesorwhales.com. We're also on Twitter at Whales Are Whales podcast, WAW podcast with no hyphen. And you can email us at whalesorwhales@gmail.com. So, hey guys, you want to plug anything, like some social media things real quick? Nope? Okay, how about you, Zach?
If you want me to make fun of your character in Dark Souls 2, or Bloodborne, send me video and some pictures of your character.
But
stats,
Zachary,
and I'll make fun
you'll
of it
you'll help.
and tell you.
In the long run, it's harsh love.
If I know you personally, I will help. If I don't know you personally,
Oh,
I'll just
okay,
make
that's
fun
fair.
Zachary will mock you if you're a stranger. And Brian, is there anything
Wait
you
a minute. How did he become the xenophobe? Like, that's turning history
point.
on its head there.
of it. Wait,
Well,
what?
He just said you're mocking anyone if they're a stranger, so that kind of seems like the definition.
That's not the same thing,
All right.
Brian. I
That's-
am not choosing to mock somebody on the basis of their race or nationality. I'm choosing to mock them on the basis of whether or not they are good at the Souls game. So really, I'm more of a, bad at Soulsophobe.
Yeah, but you're okay if they're your friend.
Well, he just has to pretend to be nice. That's how he operates
more or
friendships.
less, I just sort of, tolerate them.
Exactly. You can't lose it.
I love you, Cameron. You're my friend.
Wow, we better end this before they go further.
Oh, jeez. I knew this podcast would end like this. I knew it!
Darn it! Anyway, yeah, Twitter and stuff. I'm going by the principle that scarcity creates more demand, so I'm actually not going to tell anyone. And if someone asks me to do it and emails our Twitter account and says, "Where's Brian's info?" then I'll give it out then.
Okay, good idea.
Yep.
I'm not so highfalutin, though, so you can find me at StephenKelly180 on Twitter. And that...
You can find Brian at Lord Beldor.
LRDMEDORR.
No, Lord Beldor, Cameron.
Dang
you got
it, I'm
wrong.
just so worried.
Lord
Reverse
Beldor.
psychology.
I knew it would end like this.